Andy, welcome to the Digital Download.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. I'm so glad you're here.
Me too.
You know what? What's your title at camp?
I am Director of Product Innovation at Camp Digital.
So really just all the interesting, cool stuff that's happening.
As we like to put it, tip of the spear.
Tip of the spear,
Yeah.
something like that, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So if you're the tip of the spear, I'm the blunt end of the spear, right? The back half?
Those words have never come out of my mouth. No.
Never. No, I'm excited you're here. In all seriousness, Andy, you've been with camp for a long time.
Yes.
Been on the forefront of stuff. I think the cool part about this is we've been so on the forefront of things that it's exciting to get back to the basics.
Yes.
Back to the foundation. And one of those foundations as part of our one of those foundations as part of our series is Google Search Console, Bing Webmaster tools, and these tools are absolutely free. So there's like literally zero excuses.
Yeah. It's the tools we've been using now for as long as I've been here.
Yeah, 100.
Dinosaurs used it.
Even the dinosaurs
Yeah.
in the Cretaceous period, right? Yes. No, these are actually 2 free tools that are available to anyone that has a website, and they can use it to understand. Well, let me ask you. How do you use them? What do you use them for? If you were to like brief overview them, what are they?
Yeah, I'll put it in comparison. If we go to analytics, to understand how are users engaging with our websites. But before they can even get to the website, we need to know how did they get to our website. That's Search Console. That's Bing Webmaster tools.
Yes. How do they find our site?
Yeah. How do the bots find it? What are the bots seeing on our websites that could potentially better rank? And then ultimately, how are users engaging with the SERP that gets them to the website?
I think a common misconception about Bing Webmaster tools and Google Search Console is around, oh, this is what you just said, how a user finds my site. I think it's also, there's a two-way street there. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Because I think there's a ways to tell the bots, hey, this is my site.
Correct. Yeah. So it's a lot of the kind of the technical management of the websites. To your point, like how can we ensure that Google and Bing can see our websites? You can go look at your sitemaps, resubmit your sitemaps. You can, look at your schema on there. And I definitely want to talk about that a little bit today. A lot of these technical signals, here's this tool that not only tells you what's going on, but you can also like take away from them and be like, oh, I forgot to add this sitemap. Let me go make sure that Google, if I submit the sitemap, Google now can for sure see that sitemap.
When we talk about foundations, this is the most important thing, one of the most important things in the foundation of where search is going tomorrow. Today, really. I mean, with Schema and all the technical jargon that you're talking about, that's the technical term, the technical jargon. It's really important to have that strong foundation, like we talked about with our Google Analytics episode, and now into Google Search Console and Bing Webmaster tools for AI, LLMs, large language models, to start seeing your site.
Yeah. We look at the SERP and these AI, LLMs as these like, the SERP is constantly changing. The LLMs are constantly changing, but they're both using the same thing.
Yeah.
They're using bots to go look at your website.
That's it.
And that's all this tool is really trying to like show you and tell you is, hey, what bots are coming to your site and what are they seeing when they get to your site that is potentially impacting them from, seeing the whole perspective or, again, like what's working? Like, hey, look at all these breadcrumbs. Look at all these, clicks and impressions.
Yeah, I love that because with these 2 free tools, Google Search Console, let's section them off right now. I think it's a good jumping off point to make sure that we're talking about them separately. I have a little write up here. Google Search Console, an unfiltered diagnostic scan showing real keyword and ranking data, technical speed, issues, like we talked about with Schema, and sitemaps, and ability to force index new pages. That's kind of that two-way street we were talking about. So let's dive into kind of each one of those, maybe the technical side first, technical and speed issues, and Schema. Tell us more about that. Because when I hear the word schema, I'm like, oh, that's that fancy SEO word. That's all technical jargon. I'm not quite really sure. But like, let's dig into that a little bit.
Yeah. So you're gonna when we talk about schema, we're really kind of talking about structured data and snippets. They're all kind of baked together, but they're distinctively different in the sense that schema is essentially the language. If we're speaking English, the bots are speaking schema. It's structured data, which kind of leads into what they're speaking is if we're, talking English and writing English, the structured data is the paragraph. It's the sentence. So that's where we start to get into, Snippets is how those kind of behind the scenes language gets put on the front end. So if we're talking about snippets and the SERP, we're talking about like, hey, your review snippet, and that's the 5 little, stars that you get below your organic results. You're taking up real estate. You've got, I guess, you could compare snippets a lot to like ads extensions. It's just the organic side of it. If you will.
Let's put it in an example. I think that's kind of fun to think about. In our websites, we structure the pages where you have your home page and then all your sub pages from there. Let's dive into like service pages, like a furnace repair service page. Tell me about the schema on that page.
Yeah. So first off, you're going to have your local business schema. And that's just really, if we kind of jump back up, the domain. Like who is this domain owned by? Company, where they're located, address, like just the quick nitty gritty data points that we're trying to convey over the top of the page, but just like name, address, phone number,
very important.
The services they offer, where are they located? Not just address, but like their service area. Like honestly, if you can imagine a data point that would be relevant to your business, there's probably a schema type for that. So that's your local business. It's the higher overarching one. Once we get down to the service page, then you're really looking at a product or a service schema, and that's just getting more specific to that the focus
that
of that
service,
page.
the focus of that page.
Yeah.
I love how you said that, because that is so important for the bots when we're crawling our site, when we talk about Google Search Console or Bing Webmaster tools, as well as the AI that's going to bots that are scraping the sites as well. They read that schema even at a quicker, more alarming rate than the bots do, and across the web, not just your website, which is super important as part of that foundational piece.
Yeah. Again, we spend all this time validly to convey to a user, this is what this page is about, and we use syntax, right? Like local English syntax.
On page content.
Exactly.
Yep.
Bots don't need that.
No.
Like cut out all the fluff. They just want what is this page? What is it doing? What are you offering? Where are you based?
So important for, and I think it goes into, and I might be speaking out of turn here, but the alt text for images.
Yeah.
The bots can't see the image, so they need the alt text.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
a great example.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So anything else on Google Search Console? I would love to talk a little bit about like showing the real keyword ranking data that some of our clients have that on Google Search Console. Tell us how we leverage that, because what I start to think about is the difference between, okay, cool, I'm ranking, but like, what about clicks? What about business outcomes? I don't want just visibility, but it's interesting now. Like I'm balancing between AI, right, and what the future, and this foundational topic that we need, because we have this foundation that AI is now going to build on. Is visibility now more important than clicks because of AI? I don't know. I start to get like wrapped up.
I'd say the verdict's still out. Truth be told. But what I can say is this. I think often when we are, we've created a new page or we've made some updates, meaningful updates to a page, the first thing that we want to think about is like, where are my conversions? What's going on this page?
What action are people taking on the page? 100%.
And then you kind of wait like 60, 90 days, and you're just kind of waiting, for something to come to that page. And that's where I think we miss the mark the most, because what's happening, all the data that we're really looking for before the user even comes to that page is taking place in Search Console. Yes. So as soon as I make that meaningful update on a page, I want to go to Search Console and make, hey, did my page get indexed? If it hasn't, let me force it to get re-indexed. And then I start monitoring it over time. Like, am I starting to see impressions improve? Am I starting to see clicks improve? Where's my average position for those impressions?
I love this, like looking at the top of the funnel rather than just the bottom of the funnel.
Exactly.
Like if we were to half that funnel. And so let me back you up for just a second and define some of these things. We put a new page out. We go to Google Search Console. You said, let's index it. Let's make sure that Google knows there's a new page.
Correct.
Let's make sure, or I should say search engines, not just Google.
Yep.
But let's make sure that they know there's a new page out there and that it's crawlable. And we can force that crawl if we need to. So that's kind of what that indexing process looks like. And then we can start to look at, is it ranking and is it visible? Are we getting some impressions? And then we can start to see that uptick, which is that top funnel down to the bottom.
Exactly.
I love it. I love that. And I think that perfectly segues us into the two new capabilities that are rolling out here soon. we'll see.
Yeah.
With Google, I have no
Yeah.
idea. But the first one is AI visibility. What have we heard about this?
So the wait is over. It's finally here. We can start to actually see how are these LLM models citing your pages, as well as what is the type of traffic that is driving those citations.
So let me pause.
Yep.
How your website is cited means when someone searches plumber near me or queries plumber near me on ChatGPT or Google AI mode or whatever the case may be. I don't know what capabilities are coming out in Google Search Console yet. I don't think it's platform agnostic yet. Is it just AI mode?
I
don't know yet. I guess we'll see. We'll have to see
exactly.
when it's out in the wild. But it's when your site shows up in those results.
Yep.
And then, I think that's it's helpful to know how your visibility, because I think a lot of owners right now are like, what are we doing for AI? People are using ChatGPT. People are using these LLMs. How do we know we're showing up? This is how.
Listen, it's, again, I compare against analytics where you can cut and splice every type of data point that you could ever imagine. When it comes to Search Console, and particularly now looking at AI, like did you get cited? Did you get a click? That's it. Like, it's not much.
Cut and simple. I love it.
But it's hugely, valuable, because again, it starts to, it's the first step of the journey before we actually even get into the analytics data.
Let's move on from Google Search Console. Very important tool, really exciting stuff. If you don't own it, go claim it. You can force that indexing. There's a lot of cool things that you can report on from there. Every camp client gets that out of the box, which is fantastic. Another thing that every camp client gets and that we're starting to implement is Bing Webmaster tools, which is take GSC and put it a little bit on steroids, like add a little gasoline to that fire, and Bing Webmaster Tools is very, very good. Yeah. It's interesting to see what Microsoft is doing with this. Like, I love to see like the competition between the two behemoths that are, because Microsoft is getting a little bit down and dirty into the details of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, here we are like begging and waiting for Search Console to come out with their own AI performance. Bing's had it for like 8 months now.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. And I mean, they've had it so long now that they're coming out. They just came out with like version 2 of it, which again, now we're actually seeing these cited pages and these cited sources actually taking place in Copilot and reporting back to us.
Well, let's not forget too that Microsoft has a table stakes in ChatGPT. Like, not ownership, but table stakes for sure. And so Bing Webmaster Tools is probably one of the things that business owners, digital marketers skip or don't know about because it's kind of, it's not secretive, but it's just not well known. Yeah. Like, we got to be talking about it because it is the backbone powering Copilot, like you said. And I'm going to add on to there ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, yeah. Not to mention, so like I said, like we've already got AI performance in Bing Webmaster Tools. We're still waiting on it for Search Console, but we've already got it. So they're already ahead of the curve in Google in that regard. But on top of that, they've got tools like Clarity, which we could probably spend a whole other digital downloading on Clarity.
Yeah.
So we'll save that. But IndexNow. So right now we were talking about indexing.
Yes, IndexNow.
We were talking about indexing and Search Console, and you submit your sitemap, and great. Now Google can see your pages because you index them.
Hey, Google, my website is available for crawling.
IndexNow is, like you said, gasoline and steroids, throwing a 4 logo in there. Why not? That's literally, it's not just saying, hey, Bing, I just added new pages. It's going and hitting all of the search engines. That might even include Google as well. So if there was one place that you wanted to go to let all of these search engines, all of these LLMs know, hey, I got a new page, or hey, I made meaningful update, IndexNow.
IndexNow is where to be. Part of the Bing suite of tools, Bing Webmaster Tools. One of the also things that when we start talking about AI and why these foundations are so important is the difference. One of the differences we found from Bing Webmaster Tools and Google Search Console is what we're dubbing as grounding queries. So the report that Bing Webmaster Tools has available is the exact phrases AI systems use to cite a business as a local recommendation. Google doesn't have this yet, and that's what we've been talking about. Like, what are the exact queries, phrases, intent from a consumer that makes a business recommendation, local business recommendation, a link to your website pop on these LLMs, these large language models. That's groundbreaking for us to measure.
Yeah. Because again, it's we're not just seeing, hey, what pages got cited, in Copilot and ChatGPT, but what was the query? What was the grounding query that ultimately yielded your cited, resource? And it even gives you the scope of that query. Was it transactional? Was it informational?
The intent of that query.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes. The intent.
No,
yes.
the scope, intent,
Yeah.
potato, tomato. The cool thing about this is when we were at Microsoft just a few months ago and we were talking to like their leader of AI, the guy in charge. Do you remember his name? I don't either. Shoot, but like really, really good, high up there in the AI guy. But he was really interesting because he was talking about the grounding of it is what's the intent of it. And that's the model that these AIs are built on, is what is the intent of the query. And so being able to see what a consumer asks, I wasn't even going to say search, but asks, does it match the intent of that link or that page popping? You can make changes now. You can say, oh, it doesn't match. Let's make changes on that page. Yeah.
So again, really cool. we're only getting these like 2 data points, but they are so foundationally important to understanding, again, how did a user get to that page? And then the implications that we can make based off of just that single data point. It's changing the game.
Yeah, it absolutely is changing the game. There's one other game changer that I have listed on here, and I don't want to misquote it, so that's why I wrote it down. Bing also services long tail keyword data. Google hides this, which is interesting. This is that gold mine for niche service businesses or service searches. So what does that mean for us? When a consumer makes a search that's more of a long tail, it's happening all the time, right? Rather than saying plumber near me, it's, hey, my water heater is leaking. It's all over. I think it's going into the drain. I took a look in there. It's like this long tailed query that Microsoft will show us now, not just the keywords from it, but the long tail. That's gold for us.
Yeah. I mean, because again, it's one of those that over time, like we've seen, searches get more and more truncated. Just to, quickly, it's the user experience that they're going, plumber near me, HVAC broken, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But now that we have these like tools that are actually able to answer the question, like we're kind of cutting out that research aspect. Like, yeah, we're back to long tail, baby. Like, we're moving in that direction. And so being able to see like how people are searching again, just further, shows like what is the intent behind the search. And it's not just, well, why aren't I ranking for plumber and me? I don't know. Like what, that could be anything,
Yes. I can see the intent of it and then I can match the page to that intent, or I can, if it's the wrong match, I can change the page if needed.
Yeah.
That's so helpful when we're A/B testing, when we're putting up a new page, when we're testing. I mean, one of the things that comes to mind with our Camp Local product is around how we are aligning with products in our space. The box outside, the Lennox, the Mitsubishi, the Bryant, whatever the box outside says, we're aligning a product page with that because these queries are getting so specific and long-tailed.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, so my question for you is why do you think Bing gets so overlooked, given its role in AI search? Like we're talking about how it's surfacing so much data for us. I was listening to another podcast on my way into work this morning, and it was talking about how like Microsoft went through all of those antitrust trials way back in the early 2000s, late 90s, and how that public perception of Microsoft and Bing kind of started a little bit downhill. And I feel like that's a reason why we're kind of overlooking Bing sometimes. But I would love to hear your perspective from like a business owner, digital marketer. Like, it feels like Bing is kind of this like ugly stepchild that we forget about sometimes. Why?
I think I was thinking about it too. I think the short of it is like Google became the bleach of it became the Clorox, and Bing's just your everyday essentials. I go buy everyday essentials all the time. Like I don't need the big name stuff, but like it just became synonymous with that. So I think it's partially on us to go, preach how fantastic,
Agreed.
Webmaster Tools is, because again, it's free. Like these aren't, they're not charging you to use this. They're providing free data. Yeah. It's just a matter of going in there and getting signed up.
I think that's such a good point to land on is these tools, both Google Search Console and Big Webmaster Tools are absolutely free resources for website owners, digital marketers, business owners to use. And so the reason there's no excuse at the end of the day to use them. So Bing verification, Google Search Console is now a staple standard here at Camp. We run it for every single account because it's so important. It's not just an afterthought because it's absolutely foundational in both digital marketing as well as our new frontier of how AI search is working. Okay, Andy, what is the call to action for us as we go through these foundational episodes through digital downloads? What we're doing, what we're asking our audience to do is take action, right? Take 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. Last episode, it was all about GA4 and going to make sure that your dashboard is set up correctly. It's not just this mismatch paddywhack of different reports. It's actually giving you the data that you need. What is the action item with Google Search Console and Bing Webmaster tools?
Ooh, good question. Beyond just getting in there and poking around, I would say can I get like technical with this?
Of course, yeah.
I'd say
I'll always dumb it down. I'm good at that.
I would say, as much as I say, just like get in there, poke around. Like it took me a long time to even like take it up because it's a lot of data and again, it's like it misses context. It's obscure. But once you start to kind of frame what you're looking at, like, oh, why does this, click? Why does this, impression matter? Then it's like kind of the gold mine, like flipping on its side. Whoa.
Yeah.
So poking around all that, but I'd say if you get kind of down on the left-hand tab there, there's an enhancements and you start to see there's a couple different types of schemas that, Google, that even Bing Webmaster tools will show and report on, and it will show like how many valid ones you have and invalid ones on there. Check them out, see what they're there, and see how your site is, showing up, and start asking the questions about like where's,
I think this is
looking like.
It's such a good point to land on for a second because there's so many different reporting models out there with digital marketing agencies. We have one that we can run an audit on your site and we can give you the feedback. I'm sure every agency has that. These tools are digital marketing agency agnostic, where what I mean is it's not an agency telling you what's wrong. It's Google, it's Bing.
Exactly.
That's really important.
Yeah. You can't, not that we would, but you can't skew that data.
No.
Like this is what the bots are seeing. These are what our robot
There's no changing the
overlords-
scale. There's no yeah. Google and Bing are where we need to be measuring ourselves in. Okay, cool. That's it. Go claim your profiles.
Yes.
Make sure that you have them. And then if you really want to get technical, go look on that left-hand side. Go see how your site schema is measuring up.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm going to start a new tradition. Our video master doesn't even know that I'm doing this yet because I'm excited because it just popped this morning. I was looking at some blog posts that I found super interesting. So my new tradition for this podcast is going to be asking some obscure question at the end that I found. It's just like pretty much out of left field. You ready? Digital marketing related, of course.
Okay. Yep.
I was looking something up and I was doing some research. I want to stay on the forefront. And one of the things that popped up with all of this AI stuff has been future qualified conversions, or FQC. Have you heard of this? No, I hadn't either until this morning. Like literally I came into work this morning. I found an email in my inbox and I did some more research, fell down a rabbit hole with future qualified conversions. And I don't even know much about it. What I do know about it right now is that we can start, let me back up. What I do know about it right now is the goal is to start to measure what future conversions will happen within about a 180-day time frame. I'll give you an example that you can react to, and I'd love your thoughts. Here's the example. I just moved into my house. I pulled out my phone, and my wife came over and said, "Hey, the AC unit is leaking water." And I was like, "Oh, it's just condensating. It's hot and humid out right now. It's working all day, every day, so it's just leaking some water off the cooling lines." That's about as much as I know about an AC unit right now, so forgive me. But I was like, okay, let me go double check this. Let me take a picture of it with ChatGPT and ask it, like, what's going on here? What can I do? How can I service? Do I need a service? Whatever, right? That was about a week ago. And it said, hey, everything looks pretty good. Wrap a little more insulation around one of the copper lines coming out of the house. So I did that. And then send me another picture in a week. So I did. it was a week later. I took another picture and I said, hey, the water looks a little bit better, but the system's now struggling to keep up. Like it's really hot and humid out. It's 91, 92. We set it for 72 inside, but it's hovering around 76 right now. Do I still have a problem? Probably not. Is that normal? Whatever. So I'm going back and forth. My point, let me get to the point. ChatGPT now knows that within some sort of accuracy, I'm in the market. At some point, I'm going to be a conversion somewhere.
Yeah, so it's starting to collect enough information where it can start to allocate your search queries into the lifetime customer acquisition cycle.
Yes. Isn't that very interesting? I have no proof. I have no like measurement. I have no like, this is just a hearsay. Like I found this little nugget online and was like, that's interesting.
Honestly, it makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. It knows that I'm going to be in the market. I'm not transactional right now.
Yeah.
I'm informational. I'm educational. Yeah. Right. So maybe that's a good little takeaway from this little, I don't know, left field question is like, how can we educate our customers? How can we more make the AI trust us so that we are educational resources so that when I say us, I mean our clients, business owners, so that when I do become a transactional conversion,
I always have to be devil's advocate.
Yeah, tell me. This is why I love talking to you because I love your thoughts.
Because I mean, so it's trying to classify everything down into like, oh, they're at this point, so they're 10 days out from an expected purchase, or so on, right? I wonder how much of that is going to align with just true seasonality.
Oh, when we talk about home services businesses, 100%. Yeah, like I mean, right now it's hot and humid in the summer, so like am I necessarily going to be a conversion right now? Maybe I'll be a fast conversion if something breaks. Right.
But
so it's not going to be 10 days; it'll be 2.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. I mean, geez,
just always, that again, just to be the
no, I love the perspective.
Yeah, if it's just going to be a different way of telling us, like, no, you're going into shoulder season. Like, we know.
You're now 6 months out or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me think about how Google and Microsoft are going to coincide with some of that stuff. And it's just interesting. I think it's probably more geared towards like e-commerce. Like if I start searching for a Mother's Day present, Mother's Day is a day, so I'm going to be 180 days out or whatever. Like that makes a lot of sense. So it's just interesting to think about.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, but definitely interesting to see like if we get to a point where we can start to filter out, and this is probably where a lot of like the data collection that we're already doing and helping our customers understand their return on ad spend, right? Is now we can take that data and pivot it against repair, maintenance, install. Because right now, I mean, it's like if it gets hot, you're probably going to be looking at a repair.
A repair,
right?
a service.
And I could see that being a large portion of that traffic data. But if you can, if we can identify and cut out the install and start to see a trend with potential installs.
Yeah. If anyone in the Chaska, Minneapolis area wants a new replacement quote, I'm now open for business here soon, I bet. It's about 12 years old, so just don't tell ChatGPT that.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Gosh.
You're probably like 3 weeks out. Yeah, you got some time.
I'm hoping like a year, 12 to 15 years. Oh, goodness. Andy, thank you. This has been exciting. Yeah. I'm excited to talk. So we finished up GA4. That's one foundational topic. Go get those dashboards up and running. And today we talked about how to claim and take action on your Google Search Console page, as well as your Bing Webmaster tools. Next, we're going to be covering local service ads and why we can stop paying for bad leads. So that's coming up on the Digital Download. Thanks, Andy.
Cool. Thank you.